Hello, my friends. I have with me a very, very special guest today. Her name is Laura. And Laura is somebody who reached out to me a while ago and then again recently with an update and wanted to share with me about her healing journey as far as pelvic pain and recovery from pelvic pain. And we wanted to share this story with you today simply to give you hope if you are going through something similar. So Laura has been through quite an up and down long journey, and I'm really going to let her dive in and share more. So Laura, thank you so much for being with me today. Yes, please just share with us a little bit about where you started. I know when you told me your full story, gosh, it's been a long time that you've been dealing with issues. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So my story, I'll just start with my age. I'm 34 now. And it all started when I was around 19 that I started getting what's called cystitis attacks. So really, really painful infections. And I got, yeast infections all the time. And I would have a massive amount of tension in my pelvic area. And when it got to the point that I just couldn't almost not live a normal life anymore. I was just always in pain, always hurting. And then I didn't know if I could go out that evening because maybe I would have a flare up, and then I would get stressed about it, and then I would enter kind of a loop of a mental pattern where I would get stressed about it and then almost create a symptom and then have the physical pain. At the time I lived in Italy, and what I was told is just kind of try this, just take a medicine, take an antibiotic. So it's always been medicine, antibiotics, so every 3 months more or less. And it got to the point where I really was just in pain. I didn't have any good stomach bacteria anymore. And it was really hopeless. I just felt completely hopeless because it's been years and years and years. And nobody ever told me to look into the pelvic area, look into any sort of holistic help or any sort of exercise to do. So it was a long, long time. And then at one point I just got sick of it. And I was just like, okay, now I have to try something else. And I went to an osteopath one day. And the first thing he told me was you have some tension in your pelvic area. Maybe you need to look into that. So that kind of rang a bell, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't know anything about the pelvic area, so I'm going to just try Googling and, seeing if I find anything about it. And then I came across the videos of Dr. Bree, Femme Fusion. So I saw some other videos, but it wasn't the same effect that I had with your videos. It was because you can tell that you know what you're talking about and you understand what's going on and you explain things in the videos. And I just tried one just to see how it went, and it was called pelvic discomfort release or something like that. I don't remember the exact title, but it was a really short 20-minute one, and it was really easy to follow. And I just did it one time, and after that one time, I felt so much better. It was just some basic stretches, like the frog stretch and the windshield wipers, as you call them, and things. And I just got to a point where I did it so many times, and I did it every single day, that I started memorizing the exercises, and I progressed to other of your videos, basically. So I went to yin yoga. I tried all of the pelvic release stretches, and it just helped so much. And it's just, I didn't have to take any medicine for maybe a year now, because I started about a year and a half ago. I didn't get any attacks. I feel so much better in my daily life. And it also just, the fact that you understand what people are going through and explain to them what the exercise do makes me also want to kind of learn more about it. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just someone just telling me to do the exercise and that, but it was this, you're doing it like this because this will happen, and it will help you with this, and try this thing here specifically, and all of them help, so, and I really lead a much happier life now. Basically.
That's amazing. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, what are some of the different things that you've noticed since having this decrease in pain? How has your life kind of changed?
Yeah, it's changed as in I don't fear just normal things. I can, go to work, and I can go out a bit, and I can, just have a normal life where I don't have to think, oh my God, am I going to have a flare up now? Is my pelvic going to get all tense? Or, and I also I know I have a backup. I have something that can help me which is like the main thing. I know that if something would be there, I can put on a video or just by memory, because by now I memorized a lot of the exercises. And because of doing that, then I know it works, and then it'll help me, you know. So it's also like on a mental level, it really helps to know that I have that as a support.
I love that. And it's all natural. That's one thing that I know that
that's the thing.
One thing that really spoke to me about your story is that you said you'd been on all of these antibiotics, and of course sometimes antibiotics are necessary. Absolutely. But if sometimes, unfortunately, it happens kind of like it sounds like happened to you, where they're just sort of given out like candy, and that really can mess with your gut health over time.
It does. And it was really frustrating because I would just go to doctors, and again, I have a little bit of a beef with women's health and how it's handled. I think it's getting a little bit better these days, but you know, in all my years, I was never told. It was just kind of written off as some infection, or, you know, and then all my tests came out normal, and then they would just hand me out another antibiotic and try this. And, you know, it wasn't ever connected to like women's health, or, you know, try some yoga or try some helping with your checking your pelvic area or anything like that. So it was only recently that happened. Yeah. So
it's unfortunate. And I do think, like you said, things are getting better, but it's, you know, it's hard to find someone that can really look at the whole, really look at the whole picture. I think we still have a very piecemeal approach in the medical system. So luckily that is changing though. So good job. The information out for yourself. I did want to ask, is there anything else that you brought in besides the stretching? Did you do any trigger point work, like self-massage or anything like that? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, I tried a few of those. I haven't done them so much because I focus now a lot on the just the pelvic release part. But I have tried a few of those, and I've tried a few like breathing, just like slowing down and breathing and relaxation in that sense of your videos always. And that also helps a lot, but it just makes such a difference. I can't even like explain the difference of not having to go to the doctor all the time, not getting the medicine all the time, feeling ill, because antibiotics just make you feel ill most of the time anyways, and just being able to put on a video and knowing that they will help, you know, it's just such a relief. And it just changed my life. It did. Like, so that's why I reached out to you also, you know, like I just decided to write one day, and I was like, oh, thank you so much, you know.
It meant so much to me. Yeah. When I read your story, it meant so much to me. I really, really just want to give you a hug right now, but no, it really does.
Sadly, that's not allowed these days.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, the time of COVID. But one other thing I want to ask you is, did you start strengthening, or have you started strengthening and incorporating that into your life? I think you mentioned that you have.
Strengthening exercises?
Yeah. For the core, for the pelvic floor, that kind of thing.
Yes. And again, I mean, you have such a huge range of videos that it's really good. You know, you can just progress slowly. So like it just started with like me never having ever tried any sort of exercise in terms of like stretching or yoga. And then you just kind of like gradually understand how it works, and you get to a point where you get the release, but then you can progress to something else. And then I've tried other stronger, I mean not stronger, but you know, more difficult exercises, and you feel like you can do them after. You don't feel like you're going to be in pain or that you're too weak to do them. So it's definitely a progression, so it really helps.
Exactly. Perfectly said. And that's what we try to really promote that's what I try to promote in the work that I do online. And then also in the new program, Overcome Pelvic Pain for Women. It's a very, gentle release. And then we very gradually work in the strengthening so that people can regain that coordination and control. But it's super, super gradual, because I don't want to jump into anything. And so the last question I had for you is, what is your kind of go-to like back pocket move for if you happen to start feeling a flare come on, or you're kind of like, ooh, I think maybe I pushed it too far.
Yeah. Okay. So I usually do like frog stretch. I think works really well.
Yeah, I love frog stretch.
And then happy baby.
Yeah.
And then I have, you call it like stirring the pot, but I don't know the actual thing.
Yeah, I don't either. Stirring the pot is perfect.
Okay, so that one. So stirring the pot. So it's basically the ones from the very first video that I tried. I don't know if it's more of a, like, because I know it works, so I just repeat those, and I have those 3-4 exercises And also puppy pose is good, and the child pose.
Yeah.
So anything that kind of opens and stretches, and they're just so easy to do, and you can do them anywhere. And, you know, like last year I was in China for work, and, you know, it was a bit of a stressful situation. So I did have flare-ups there because it was a little bit tense and out of my ordinary, way of living.
Yeah.
So then in the hotel room in the evening, I would just do those like 5 exercises a bit on repeat, and then have the release, and then just like feel good and ready for the next day, you know? So it really, really helped a lot also, just to know that it works, you know, and that you can just do them anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I mean, you've identified that this ultimately, having some of these tools has helped you be able to be more successful at work, have less gut issues, less trips to the doctor, like all of these really major issues. And it doesn't seem like just a few stretches could do all that, but it can.
No, I would have never thought so, you know, so I was really skeptical, of course, you know, like when you just try for the first time, you're like, you know, but I really honestly had results from the very first time. And then it's a matter of sticking to it, but you want to stick to it because you know that you're doing something good for yourself, and you know that it can change how you live your life, you know, because then you just live things with less fear of like having flare-ups and pains and tensions, and you know you can do something about it without having to pop a pill.
Exactly.
So I really,
that's amazing.
really
Do you have, I guess I do have another question still then. Do you have a technique or a tip for helping people stick to it and be consistent? I'm always curious about tips.
For me, it's like I'm really horrible at being consistent with, especially with exercise. Like it's just, I find it so hard. But I think, again, like when it's something that really affects you on a personal level and on a daily level, and then, you know, you do these and you feel better, and then you start thinking, okay, well, I can do this, and maybe I can do something else, and then you just like slowly progress, and then you start eating also a bit better, and then it's just this whole circle that comes together and just gives you like a different lifestyle. And it's just the fact that it works is the way that I stuck to it, because I don't have any tricks or anything. Like I'm not the type that I didn't like schedule like 5 days a week I have to do it. It's just like every day I'll take like half an hour of my time in the evening and just like, you know, go into a room, dim the lights, put on some essential oils, and put on the video and just have that time for myself, and then just like create a bit of a spa moment, you know. So that helped because it didn't feel like work, you know. It didn't feel like an obligation. It felt like something pleasurable and something that will help me. So, and that's how it stuck for like over a year now, which I almost never have done in my life with any sort of exercise or something.
I love that. That's so beautifully said. And it's true. Like once you start seeing that, this actually kind of feels good. Like it doesn't feel like a chore anymore. And I really love how one thing kind of snowballed into the next. And I found that for many people that once they start kind of up leveling in one area of their life, it spills over into other areas as well.
It does. It makes you want to try. Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
And it's not an effort. It's not a job.
Perfect.
So it's really good.
Thank you so much. Is there anything that you would leave anyone who has pelvic tension, anything like that? What would you leave people with?
I mean, I would just say, like, I feel you and I hear you and I know the pain, and I know it's just so unbearable sometimes. Just like you just think that you just can't do anything about it, but there is hope. And like I honestly think that these, like, the videos that you have are just amazing, and then you just want to stick to it, and it just works, and it just helps, and it's just great. So it is like, I don't normally gush about these kind of things or anything, or I don't really follow YouTube at all, but I swear, like, I just won't go on YouTube to watch these videos. I'm being super honest, but and that's all you have to do, and then you just live a good life, you know. So that's all.
Oh, beautiful. Laura, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been truly a pleasure, and just such a pleasure to see you make a change in this way. So thank you again for reaching out.
But thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, bye everyone. And thank you again, Laura.